Hey there folks, Ash here, and we are back with another review of VR Troopers by Boom Studios, this time talking about issue 4. So last month's issue ended on the crazy cliffhanger where Ryan's mother was finally revealed, and although this was kind of leaked through previews and stuff like that months in advance, although the reveal to learn about his mother was really cool, I feel like maybe this was one of those reveals after reading this issue. It was like maybe we didn't really have to have Ryan's mother revealed in this series. Maybe it's something they could have held off on, or maybe not done at all. Because this issue is the big lore dump, the big backstory where we learn about Ryan's mother's past and a little bit of his father's past, and what exactly happened on that fateful day and how she ended up the way she was. I feel like maybe they could have not done the big lore dump issue for this month's issue because, it kind of definitely slowed down the pacing with everything that was going on with this issue. And maybe it made some of the characters' decisions that we learn about kind of make them more dislikable in a short way. Now, this isn't a knock at the writer or anything like that. I am a fan of their work. I do like what I read. But I feel like having this issue, I kind of feel like it kind of takes a lot of it out of place. So, like I said, this issue is the big flashback issue where we learn about what happened all those years ago, how Ryan's parents first met. So we learn that Ryan's mother used to work for the Department of Defense, and she describes it as sort of like a hollow shell of an operation because, not many humans were working under it, as Eltar had sort of, colonized Earth at this point, so there was mostly Eltarian operations, so this was sort of like the last human defense force that they were sort of working on. And eventually Amy met Tyler and the two fell in love, and Amy tried convincing Tyler to, use his science to help out the Human of Defense, the Defense Force where she works for, but he was against it because, he was under the suspicion that, what if they use my tech to sort of turn on the Eltarians? That would be a bad thing. And eventually the two have a falling out and the two separate. And you have this moment where outside of the flashback, you have this back and forth between Ryan and Amy. And we learn that, Tyler took Ryan to the other side of the country, and when the two separated, she didn't really do anything about it. She just kind of let Tyler take Ryan and leave, and she even pulls the card when she talks to Ryan about saying, oh, I'm a terrible parent and stuff like that. They weren't even together for that long, and she just kind of gave up already by saying, oh, I'm a terrible parent, I would have been a horrible parent raising you, Tyler was much better off raising you. It's kind of that cliche where they say, I would have been a terrible parent anyway, when they haven't really been in their life that much. So it kind of shows that, yeah, she has this really cool design, but her morals are kind of really messed up in a way with how she's sort of given up on sort of being a parent for Ryan already. And that's kind of sad, to be honest. So the next part of the flashback is kind of the pieces that I know a lot of people have been wanting to know. What exactly happened on that fateful day when, Tyler supposedly died? So what exactly happened is Amy went to go see Tyler and see what he had created, but the Eltarians soon showed up as well, ready to ambush him. So Amy is the one who sort of pushed the button on the portal, and the three of them were sucked in there, Professor Hart, Amy, and Tyler. And because they were trapped on the other side, the Eltarians were quick to blow it up, so leaving them trapped in there. And eventually they ran into Grimlord, where Grimlord's world wasn't that technologically advanced, but he wanted the minds of the scientists there, and what he ended up doing is he ended up torturing everyone in there. And we do get some gruesome moments, I will say that. The artwork here is pretty cool, I will say that, where you get to see Amy being ripped apart and you see all this flesh pulled apart and all the cyborg parts going on them, where they were slowly broken and brainwashed by Grimlord to serve him, eventually later down the line. So what happens in the end is that Amy ends up escaping and she manages to find Professor Hart, who is, I guess, more of a cyborg now with how they look, where they sort of got this, cyborg face and robot arm. And what they end up doing is they create another portal to send Amy through. but it gets destroyed behind them, leaving, I guess, Tyler and Professor Hart there. So I'm sure we'll encounter them later down the line in the series. Now, one thing they do confirm, and I thought I was thrown for a loop with the reveal that we had last month, is that Tyler is still Darkheart in this universe. We have yet to see him, so we'll see how that's going to go later down the line within the next 2 issues. So Amy and Ryan are going to form an unlikely alliance to sort of save Tyler, stop Grimlord, save Caitlin and all that stuff, to save all the universes they can, or both the realities they can. So we'll see where that's going to go leading up to the finale. And that's pretty much where the issue ends. I mean, it ends by saying, oh yeah, your father's also Darkheart as well, so be careful of that guy. That's what he goes by now. So we'll see where that's going to go. But overall, I feel like this issue kind of felt like the more weaker one that we've had recently. Maybe it'll flow together better when I get the trade back or the complete collection of this series. But I feel like having a flashback kind of come out of nowhere and this being the main focus of the issue, I feel like maybe they could have slowed it down a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a writer, but I feel like maybe having this issue be a flashback that just kind of came out of nowhere kind of caught me off guard. And like I said, it kind of felt more of the weaker issue, especially some of the writing for Amy and stuff like that. Yeah, she looks really cool. Yeah, we learn a bit more of a backstory here and there. But I feel like that having Amy in the series, cool character. Let's see if she can redeem herself moving forward, because I feel like with what we've seen so far, she kind of seems like a bit of a mess of a character, but we'll see what's going to happen moving forward. I do like her Sarah Connor vibes that she's got going on for her sort of cyberpunk vibes she's got going on for her, but I don't know. We'll see where the series is going to take her moving forward and what role she'll play within the next 2 issues. We'll see what's going to happen. But overall, that was VR Troopers issue 4. I'll see you next month for VR Troopers issue 5 that will be coming out in December. 2 more issues to go for this series, then we're done. So we'll see how they're going to wrap up this series in a nice little bow moving forward. So with that said, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Take care. Bye.